Hi Pisces, welcome to your May 2023 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but I'd always advise that you watch your ascendant sign if you're only going to watch one, because we're using the astrology, so this is going to be a lot more accurate for you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So we're going to pop these to the side. Those will be for your moons, these will be for your weeks of the month, and these will be for the bulk of your read. So the first transit we're going to look at here is the movement of Venus into the sign of Cancer, which is your fifth house of joy, pleasure, romance. Venus is bringing some sweetness and light to your pleasure zone. Now, the fifth house, sweetening your romance. So if you've been single for a while, if you're single just in general and you're ready to mingle and to date, this is absolutely a golden time to do so. You're a little bit more magnetic, you're more appealing at this time, you're a little bit more fun, a bit more flirtatious, so this could be really fun. It was also really fair to say as well that you're a lot more lucky. Venus, the lady of luck, right, is coming into a house in the chart that is actually a very lucky space. So buy the lotto ticket, make a bet responsibly, of course, right? But this is a really good energy to give yourself some kind of beauty treatment, also to help make friends, right? If you want to make more friends, etc., this is a good time to do so. It will bring a softer, more sparkly kind of sheen to your energy, and to everything that you create will just seem to come out that little bit better, to have that little sort of extra joie de vivre, as they say. A really great time to spend with children. If you have children of your own, make time to connect with them and be with them at this time, because you could get so much out of it and vice versa, and you can make some really great memories, you know. And if you don't have any children and you're not on that journey, let your own inner child out to play and, you know, take them to the sweet shop, whatever that might be for you. For this, you've got the Three of Pentacles, so a good time to dedicate some time, energy to learning potentially, but learning something that's fun, right? Something that really allows you to kind of do that escapist thing that you love to do. You've got this with the Six of Swords. If you could take some kind of learning, health, fun retreat, I think you'd get a hell of a lot out of it. Then you've got the Four of Cups. So this basically suggests that, so for some of you, this could be you traveling to spend a weekend with somebody. This combination, maybe you're having like a little short weekend break, maybe you're doing something that's a little bit more fun, that kind of gets you out of a rut, especially if you've been in a bit of a funk. This could see you snapping out of it, and the best way to do that is to really embrace where you're going from here. So I actually really like this for you guys. I think it's easy, sweet, simple. It's only a short transit, and you know, obviously once Venus leaves Cancer, she's coming into Leo, where she's going to be in your where she's going to be in your sixth house for a good while, right? So it's an interesting one for sure. All right, so for the next transit on the 11th of May, the moon is going to conjunct Pluto, and those energies are going to oppose Mars in a dissociated opposition. So what that means is it's not an opposition by sign, but it is an opposition by orb and aspect. So it's still potentially quite intense. Now, for you guys, that conjunction of the moon and Pluto is happening in your 12th house. So for you, dear Pisces, this is happening in the most intense space of the chart. So it's potentially a bit of a heavy couple of, you know, I always say the day before, the day of, and the day after, especially when it comes to lunar transits, right? This could be, maybe you have a powerful self-realization of some sort, and it will likely come up in a really big way, like in a very, you know, way that you can't really ignore. Now, it's the moon, so moon, feelings, right? Pluto, intensity, final energy, final word. What's interesting as well is this moon in particular is a quarter, it's the last quarter square, which means that there is an energy here that is, it's a crisis point that will need to be looked at. Now, I'm going to say this to you, don't ignore it, because it's Pluto. Pluto does not do well when you ignore what it's bringing up for you. It's kind of like that, you know, it's like the equivalent, and I don't say this to scare you, I say it to empower you to say, okay, if there's no getting around this, I'm going to get on the front foot and I'm going to do something with it, right? If this is kind of like the, you know, like something that you just can't ignore, and it's like when you leave it, it just gets worse. This could, you know, potentially be like that. Now, there's no ignoring it, right? And because the moon rules your 5th house, Pluto rules your 9th house. So there's a spiritual element to this, but because it's happening in the 12th house, you find, which is where you find like your self-sabotaging tendencies, your personal hang-ups, etc. This is the space in the chart as well. I like to call it the house of the door that connects you to the intangible realm. So this could come up like what you realize about yourself at this time, how you get in your own way, maybe how you self-sabotage. It might be really, really sort of either painful or intense to look at, but it really is clearing the way for you to experience life more on your own terms. So if you can be really honest with yourself around this time, it could actually be really good for you. The 12th house is also the past. So this is something that bubbles up, and because of that opposition to Mars in your 5th house, it could simply be a realization of where you overindulge, where you use something as a crutch or as a way of kind of escaping the world. Maybe this is drinking, maybe it's sex, maybe it's food, maybe it's smoking, you know, whatever it is. This could be you see a habit in yourself and you're like, wow, I actually do this when stuff gets intense or when things get heavy. Whatever you feel to reach for to get away from how you feel around the 10th, the 11th and the 12th of May, that will be a vice that you have a potential or a possibility here to rid yourself of. For this, you have the 3 of Wands. What do we see? 2 threes. 2 threes represents a calming influence. So you might discover a steely resolve within yourself to say, okay, I'm ready to let this go now. Then you've got the 3 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, 3 of Swords. 2 threes represents a calming, represents success. So this could literally see you ending a bad habit. Maybe it comes up at a crisis point, you know, maybe it's like one of those, I mean, I've never had a problem with alcohol, but maybe you wake up after a binge and you're like, right, I need to get this under control. Or I don't know, maybe you eat something, maybe you just eat to that point of excess, and you wake up and you feel like, you know what? No, this is done. I'm closing out this cycle, and you will break it. Like, I love this with that 3 threes, and then you've got the 9 of Cups. The way through this is by recognizing what you need to heal within yourself, by acknowledging what you're using to escape, right? The 9 of Cups is a beautiful energy, especially an energy of healing. So this is great. The next transit I want to look at, Jupiter, the Lord of abundance, growth, blessings, opportunities, is coming into your 3rd house. It's going to be there for a nice long 12-month stint. Jupiter, I love this for your work. It's bringing opportunities, opportunities, opportunities to use your skills, the 3rd house. I love this for interviews, for getting recognized in your local area in some way, shape or form, for your connections or your opportunities to grow or to expand within your local area also come up here. For the first time in probably about 3 years, you're going to feel easier and lighter and more fun when it comes to your work, when it comes to communications, even around the space or the place that you live in. The 3rd house as well at this moment is properly lit up. You've got Mercury newly direct at this point. You've got Jupiter now in this sign. You've got Uranus in this sign. You'll also have the Sun still in this sign, I believe, at this point. So there's still quite a lot of energy in that 3rd house. Use it, lean into it, right? Jupiter coming in. If you've got any form of writing or speaking or learning to do, this is a great time to do it. It's also a really good time for you to, because Jupiter rules your career sector of Sagittarius in the 10th house, this could be great things that come in terms of work, career, legacy, your purpose out in the world, including increasing your prominence and your voice. Love this, use it. For this, you have the Two of Swords, so potentially forging connections here. With the Five of Cups. Okay, so look, this combination here does suggest that you are maybe phasing something out of maybe you're letting go of a local neighborhood. Maybe you've decided, actually, you know what, I want to move from here. And then with this, you also have the Seven of Wands. So this, I actually think, might show itself, certainly in the month of May. This sees you kind of getting really clear on what you're ready to release from that third house. If you've got siblings, or siblings, or potentially even neighbors, this could see you interacting with them more, or potentially for some of you, maybe a neighbor that you really love is moving away. Maybe a sibling announces that they're moving to a different country, or potentially you decide that there is a connection, a partnership, or a collaboration in your local neighborhood that you're ready to part ways with. Either which way, I still love this transit, and I think it's going to be great for you guys. I genuinely do. Okay, for the last transit on the 21st of May. Have I missed one? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Okay, on the 21st of May, Mars is going to move into the sign of Leo. Now, happens roughly once every sort of 1.5/2 years-ish, give or take. Usually for about 6 weeks. The reason this one is so interesting is because as soon as Mars moves into the sign of Leo at that 0 degrees, it's going to directly oppose. This is where that energy of that previous Pluto opposition to Mars, this is where it perfects, and this is where it gets real. Okay, this for you is happening in your 6th house. Now, Mars in the 6th house is actually very fortunate, and the reason being is because it's said that in the 6th house Mars exalts. Mars likes to be in the 6th house because it does good work there. It knows what it's doing. It's got its duty, you know, it puts its blinkers on and says, right, gonna do this, gonna get to this. This is how things work from here. Now, it's likely to improve your passion, your energy, your drive, your vigor, especially in terms of things like your physical body, your health, your prowess, etc. So the transit itself could be really nice, but this might be a real fire. It might, and the transit of Mars through the 6th might, maybe you ramp up your workouts, maybe you start getting really serious about training in some regard. Now, it's giving you real energy and oomph and power to, health, and also to work, because the 6th house is your day-to-day grind, right? The daily grind. So you're feeling a really powerful energy here. Now, it's also a wonderful and welcome energy. Now, it's also, it's in an opposition to Pluto. There's a crisis point here and a final showdown of some sort, right? And the 12th house for you of Aquarius, where Pluto is, this 6th house, 12th house axis is a maintenance axis. And what I mean by this is, it's about the physical body, how you look after all of this, but also the 12th house, how you look after everything that's inside. This could be a real thing at this point, right? So maybe potentially a crisis point that comes up, which means that you have a maintenance issue to fix or to sort out. Now, a spiritual or physical, or potentially both, Mars is in a perfect sextile to the Sun in Gemini. And this is an opportunity to improve an issue with or around the home, or even to get a repair done. Maybe you've had an issue come up, consistently with the home. This connection could actually, maybe it brings a crisis point, right? But once it comes up, you're like, yes, okay, this is going to get dealt with here and now. For this, you've got the Page of Pentacles. You've got the 10 of Pentacles, so there's definitely something happening within the home sector for sure. And you've got the 7 of Swords. You've got two swords here, 2 sevens here. 2 sevens represents news. I feel like this is some kind of information that comes in either around the home, the family, or the job. It's information that you didn't have before, that you haven't been privy to. And when you find out this information, you may very well have a moment where you're like, you know what? I didn't know that. And now I do. I know what I'm ready to work on. Now, the Ten of Pentacles literally represents the home, the family, the physical dwelling, right? And it's interesting because it also represents your, can represent the body. We're talking about the 6th house here. That Page of Pentacles, something's starting anew, but there's some work that's happening on, with, or around the home and in the work sector. So a really interesting month for you guys for sure. Let's have a look at your weeks of the month. So for the weeks of May, in a breakdown. So for the first week of the month, you have the Emperor, right? So, I mean, I've said this for a while. You guys seem to be tapping into your inner Aries energy. And we all have all of the energies in our charts. It's just about where it falls and how we use it. That first week of the month, it looks like you're getting very vocal about something, right? You're really standing up for what you believe, holding firm, potentially even commanding some kind of authority. I also like this as well, for potentially you maybe making some kind of personal commitment to yourself, not out there in the world. You're not signing anything. This is like a personal commitment. Then you've got the Magician card. So this will see you connecting to a powerful man. The Magician card always brings powerful people up or into our lives. This is you connecting with a really powerful man, whether this is a manager, a boss, managing director, you're connecting with someone here, but you are seeing this person, or maybe they see you as an equal or as a peer, which is amazing. And that second week of the month, if there's something that you need, ask for it at that time. Remember, you've got that moon conjunct Pluto, so it could be a little bit intense. For the third week of the month, you have the Empress, right? So potentially laying new foundations or sowing new seeds here in some regard. Because you've got this with the Magician card, there's almost like there's something where you're communicating your personal value. So this is just as an example that comes to me right now. Let's say you go for a job interview, likely to be the case for a lot of you. Let's say you go for a job interview and they offer you the job and you're really excited, you're amazed, you read through the contract and then you see the salary that they're offering you and you're like, no. My worth and my value, right? You dig in, you dig your heels in and you say, my worth and my value and what I will bring to your team is worth way more than you're offering. This is what you can do about it. Another way that Empress potentially shows up as well, it could see you maybe as well. So this would be a powerful man. This will be a powerful woman. All right. So you're connecting with some people here. Your final card for the fourth week of the month is the Hanged Man, right? That's one of your cards as a Pisces. What this says to me, this fourth week of the month, hold off on, like if you've got a plan that you're hoping to initiate, hold off for this moment. Take a minute, right? It looks like a lot of you are working on something very creative, which is great, but it looks like you're also really focused on potentially beautifying how you present to the world, whether this is your profile, on whatever websites or apps you're a part of, etc. Maybe your content, all of that kind of stuff, really pulling that stuff into a sphere of more beauty. But like I said, in terms of plans that you're wishing to execute, you are being urged to take a minute. And then finally, for your moons, you have the new moon in the sign of Taurus. This for you is happening again in that third house. Day-to-day communications, your day-to-day, your neighborhood effectively. Communications, reading, writing, speaking, sharing with the world. You've got this with the the gate 42 and closing. And the message in this card is it's about knowing when a cycle has come to its completion. So that new moon, while it is a fresh start and a new beginning, it could be the end of an old job and the beginning of a new one. It could be the end of working for other people and the start of you being self-employed. There's something here that opens up, right? You're seeing a new vista like she is on the card, but it's through closing down one area or one part of your life that you understand to be done now, which is really, really exciting in a sense. And then the full moon lunar eclipse in your 9th house of Scorpio is the last one of its kind, certainly for the next 9-10 years anyway. You got the gate 47 and mindset, and because this is in your house or space in the chart of the higher mind and mindset, this could really highlight to you where maybe you're looking at something and thinking, I thought I was done with studying. I thought I was done with learning new things or taking on this, this and this. And then suddenly you say to yourself, no, actually, I'm ready. I'm ready to learn more. I'm ready to take new things on. And this is basically the human design version of, you know, like the meme that says with the guy, he sat on a bus. So you've got one person, like it's, you know, on one side of the bus, it's like really bright and happy and sunny and lovely, and then on the other side it's just like grey rocks. And it's like, well, you know, you're sitting on a bus, you can go either way, you just have to make a choice. That's what this card says as well. Where your mind goes, you know, as they say, like where attention goes, energy flows. So if you find that this eclipse is kind of, maybe you're feeling like, well, I thought I was done with this, if you can open up to what the other possibilities are, you can find something truly special. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.